What's up, everybody? Eric here with another EWE Reviews. Today we're going to be talking about South Park Season 26, Episode 5. Before we get into that, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, let me know what you thought about this episode of South Park, and yeah, let's go from here. So, this is Season 26, Episode 5. Sadly, we only have one more episode left after this one, guys. So I'm hoping it finishes strong. This was not a bad episode. For those of you wondering, yes, we have less South Park episodes per year now. We only get 6 a year. However, we do get those exclusive to TV movies with Paramount Plus every year now. So that's good. At least we get some counter where we're not just getting the regular episodes. But yeah, let's talk about some information about this episode, and as usual, this will be spoiler-free at the beginning, and then I'll let you guys know when we go into the spoiler section. So let's go about it. So the name of this episode is Dick and Balls Hot Dogs. And yes, Dick and Balls Hot Dogs. They like to do a lot of play on words, so South Park, Fracture Butthole, things like that. So the video game name, so they love to mess around with this. Episode came out on March 22nd, 2023, and of course the creators of the show as usual are Matt Stone and Trey Parker with a runtime of 22 minutes. So based off the promo, we see Butter show up while the other kids are playing basketball, and he tells them, hey, I got a check, I now have a job, I have money going to the bank account. And guess who's jealous? Of all the characters that get jealous because he wants money too, it's Cartman. So you can already know where this is going. Cartman's gonna try and get a job. But yeah, guys, that is the basic plot of this episode based off trailer. Let's move now on to my spoiler-free thoughts. I really enjoyed this episode. I had a lot of fun with it, and I was just like, how is Cartman gonna screw over Butters? Because you know what's coming. As soon as Butters started showing off, it's not like Cartman's gonna want to go find a job around. No, he's gonna want whatever Butters' job is. So he gets himself in the classic Cartman crap, and there's some good moments here where we talk about not workers' rights, but like things that happen to workers now, like working from home, personal days, things like that have been coming up in the news, and people calling that workers are lazy. And this episode takes a lot of thoughts from that and puts it together. I really enjoyed what was there. The meta commentary in this episode was top tier South Park, which they've been doing pretty well all season. Alright, so let's move on to my score for this episode. I'm giving this episode an 8 out of 10 for great. Now, I am starting to wonder if the reason, I don't think I've gone over an 8 for South Park this season. Maybe it's that none of them have been over an 8, but maybe one of the reasons is that South Park's been going on for so long, I'm comparing a lot of these episodes in my mind, probably, to other, like, all right, what am I rating a 10 out of 10 episode of South Park? What am I rating a 9 out of 10? And what am I rating 8 out of 10? Where I think the 9 and 10s are now like a very high echelon because we have so many episodes of South Park that maybe I'm being a little bit harsher critic with it than maybe I'm being with other shows. But I'm not sure. You guys can comment down below if you guys think that I'm being too harsh with South Park. Please let me know. Do I recommend this episode? 100%. They actually have a long-term story from a few seasons back actually shows up back in this episode in a great way. So yeah, I really think you guys should watch. I think you'll like what they have here because I thought it was a lot of fun. Alright guys, so if this is as far as you're going with this, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what you thought. But yeah, let's move on now to the spoiler section. So let me give you your 5-second spoiler warning. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright guys, now we're into the spoiler section of the episode, so let's go through the entire episode and talk about it. So, the beginning of the episode is just from the promo. We see Butter show up saying like, hey, I got a job. And then you see Cartman saying like, well, I want a job. And there's this funny moment where Kyle tells Cartman, you're not going to last 4 hours. And then Cartman goes to his mom telling her he wants the job or whatever because the whole like they live in a hot dog thing. Because he's still bitter about that. The mom even says, like, I don't work because of you, Cartman. You, Eric. And then Cartman's like, well, I'm the man of the house. I'm the one that's supposed to work. And she's just like, all right, I'll give you the permission to be able to work, but I don't think you're going to last 4 hours. I'm just like, they're already burning him with the 4-hour thing. Cartman then shows up to Butter's work, the ice cream shop, and he tells him, I'm here looking for a job. And then the owner comes in, and Butter screws up because he puts him on a spot, like, with Eric right in front of him. It's like, would you vouch for him? And I feel like if it wouldn't have been, like, on the spot, there's a good chance Butters wouldn't have agreed. It seems like Butters has a hard time when Cartman's right in front of him saying no to him. But when Cartman's not around, it seems like he's a lot better with doing about it. All right, so Cartman gets the job, and 13 minutes into work, he's already being lazy. He doesn't want to do the stuff that Butters is telling him to do. He's already asking, like, oh, when do we go on breaks? So now let's jump 37 minutes into work, and Cartman's already on a break eating ice cream. While there's already a line of people, and Cartman's just like, nah. And he's technically not even on break yet. He goes like, and he says, I'm gonna go on break. So he takes his break. Butters is then, we go later into the episode, like some time passes by, and they're like, well, Cartman hasn't come back from break. And then not Uber, but like a courier shows up, and he's like, for Butters, and he gives him a laptop, and it says, open me. Butters opens up the laptop, and there's Cartman on a video call saying like, oh, I decided to work from home. And it's just like, you work at an ice cream shop. There is no working from home when you are in an ice cream shop. And then the next day, Cartman's back, and he's trying to like, is it the next day? It might actually be the same day. He might have come back. And he's like, oh, why are we getting the owner so much money? We could run this by ourselves. And then Cartman has a mind-blowing moment where like he grabs a hot dog from because I guess the ice cream shop also sells hot dogs, and he grabs and he realizes, like him saying like, oh, we can open up our own place. He already has the location they can use because he lives in a hot dog stand, and he gets his idea. He quits his job. He goes to Kenny. He's trying to convince him to like open up a hot dog shop with him. Like I said, the name of the episode is Dick and Balls Hot Dogs. So he ends up talking to Kenny. They end up getting what to do together, but they need to get the capital to be able to do it. They go to the bank, and they're trying to wrestle in Butters to be able to use Butters' money to open up the business. And already you guys can tell it's not going to go well for Butters. Again, Butters is in front of Eric. He doesn't know how to tell Eric no. There's a montage after this, and you see Butters working hard, doing his work at the ice cream shop, and then you just see Kenny and Cartman just spending a bunch of money. They're going to like this fancy restaurant where they're trying to decide what they're going to do for the new restaurant, and then they come up with the name Dick and Balls, and it's so stupid, but it made me laugh. You find out from later after this, the montage, Butters gets home and his parents are kind of like mad at him. He's like, oh, I thought you had a job. What's going on? He's like, I do have a job. It's like, well, then why do you not have any money in your bank account? And yes, sure enough, Eric spent all of Butters' money. So then we go to Eric where he's having fun with the new restaurant of what's done. Like, it's designed basically for Eric now. Butters then shows up and he tells him, hey, you lost all my money. I want you better open this place up to start making me back my money, because he's not making anything. So they put up help wanted signs. No one wants to work for them because Eric's just offering people minimum wage. And it's like, yeah, minimum wage is not worth it if they're going to work really hard. So sure enough, no one comes in. Cartman gives up and even tells Butters, like, it's okay. You can just come hang out at my place now. Because look, we have a slide, we have all this. And Butters is pissed at this point. He's irate. He's just like, what the hell? You screwed me over. So then Butters ends up opening Dick and Balls, and he does all the work himself. We then, after he finishes up doing the work, we fast forward to Butters now at the bank, and he made back his investment. So, I mean, that's that. But he's planning to sell, and you can tell the bank owner's just like, well, you wouldn't be able to do this, this, and this. And Butters already has a plan, and he ends up doing something that I thought was genius. So the main thing that they couldn't do is they couldn't sell it because there's someone living there. But then he talks to Mrs. Cartman like they had a backroom deal, and sure enough, the funniest thing happens. Butters ends up selling, and Cartman and his mom get back their house. And Cartman is pissed now because he made Dick and Balls exactly what he wanted. It's the restaurant he's been wanting for it's the place to live. He finally made the hot dog cool, but now they're back in their old house. I was laughing out like, Cartman, you didn't get you got what you wanted, but now it's not what you wanted. You wanted the cool thing that you spent all of Butters' money doing. So that was a lot of fun. So yeah, at the end of the episode, Cartman's back in his old house. Dick and Balls has been sold. There was a funny conversation with Butters while he was in the in the bank where the restaurant, not the bank manager was just like, oh, well, no one's going to want to buy it if you're just going to give them like parts of it. And he's like, oh, well, I'm going to look for foreign investors and do all this stuff. And I just found it funny of like the fact like, yeah, he's right. Like, if we start thinking about what happens in real life, like, why do these things happen? Because a lot of investors want full control. If they're not going to have it, they're not going to spend their money. So a lot of times they sell to foreign people, foreign companies around the world. And yeah, I'm not sure why I said foreign people, foreign companies. And these companies, they don't care about like necessarily what it is. They care about what the assets are. And I thought that was a good thing of commentary, what's going on in the real world. And I really enjoyed that. I had fun with this episode just because seeing how Cartman was just like, oh, we can do this if we can do it ourselves. It's like, Cartman, no, you can't. You keep saying that. Like me, for times I'm saying like, oh yeah, wouldn't it be cool to run my own company? And then I realized, well, what goes into it? I need HR and all this. I'm like, no, that's too much work. I'm just gonna keep doing my own job. But yeah, I completely felt like this episode really catched with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Like I said, this is an 8 out of 10, great for me. So let's move on now to what I'm gonna be reviewing next. So next week, next week we should have, I'm going to try and have episodes 1 and 2 of Ted Lasso, a new Star Trek Picard review, and next week I'm going to try and watch Dungeons and Dragons, the new movie. So watch out for those review guys. But thanks for watching, and yeah, comment down below what you guys thought. Excuse me, and talk to you soon. Bye.